You ever encountered a love triangle so hard you genuinely thought that the best solution was to split the MC into equal halves? POV, you're me having finished Nisekoi with a friend of mine. And this was a rewatch, admittedly, but it holds up. I thought that this would make my solution, choosing one girl over the other, easier, but it doesn't. It's only made my decision more difficult, and I think that the MC is a really nice guy where the only solution is to take both of them at once, or by splitting the MC into two equal halves. One for you, and one for you. Before I get deep in the weeds, I should probably explain Nisekoi itself so that way people know what I'm talking about. Nisekoi False Love was written and illustrated by Naoshi Komi in his most popular work to date, and would eventually be greenlit for an anime adaptation in winter of 2014. The anime itself had 2 seasons, the second ending in around 2015, and the manga would continue to be written up until its ending in 2016, thus officially closing the history book on Nisekoi. I say officially because while the anime has been left open for a season 3, it's been like a decade at this point, so my hope for it dwindles by the day. The story of Nisekoi follows its main character, Ichijo Raku, who is a boy just about to start high school who also happens to be the son of a Yakuza boss. When a rival gang shows up into town, they start to tear the whole place apart. In order to keep the town from falling apart, Raku must be paired with the daughter of the rival Yakuza boss, just kind of like a political marriage to keep things square. And her name is Chitoge Kosaki. I should mention that since it's the first day of high school, they meet in the high school building first as fellow students. She does the toast in her mouth, bash him with her thighs thing. I can't believe we live in a day and age where that's a sentence. Either way, I'm all for it, but they meet each other and it's like oil and water. They hate each other and they do the typical, oh, I wish I never see him again, or I never see her again. To which they go home to their respective Yakuza homes and they find like, hey, we stopped the fighting, but on the caveat that you gotta marry this dude, or you gotta pretend to date this dude, which, recipe for disaster, but a fun kind of disaster. So they're only pretending to date, which ruins their reputation in high school immediately. Well, I say ruins, but it's like the reputation that they're going out just spreads like wildfire. Which is a sad thing for Chitoge because she wants to find a nice guy, but it's an even worse situation for Raku because he has developed feelings for his childhood friend and crush, Kosaki Onodera. And wouldn't you know it, they all go to the same class. There are other characters that get introduced, but those are the main 3 of the love triangle. And yes, I mean love triangle. Eat it, Mari gang. I should mention that there is a third girl that gets involved, a potential love interest that turns it into a love rhombus, if you will. But she shows up late in the game, and her shtick is that she thinks that he's her fiancé. So I don't know how that got in place, but I imagine that she just remembers a promise from back when they were kids. And that's actually the main drive of the love triangle that we got going on here. Raku carries a terrible CG locket around his neck that has a picture of a girl inside of it that he met many years ago when they were children. But the significance is that as children they had a really good time playing together, and the girl promised that they would marry, so it's that super cute, aw, pinky promise, let's get married when we get older kind of thing. But the kicker is, Raku does not have the key to that locket. The owner of the key is the girl that he met all those years ago, but he doesn't know who that is because he is just forgetful, he doesn't remember. And to be fair, I don't remember what I did when I was 5 years old or 6 or whatever age he was, so I think that that's fine. The point is, the winning girl has to carry a key. And wouldn't you know it, the girls that carry keys around their necks are Chitoge, Onodera, and Mari. I still say that she does not have a chance. I am sorry. Not. And I should mention, just to be clear, whoever holds that key that unlocks the lock is the girl that made the promise to him all those years ago. So whoever opens that locket is the true winner. The show goes through wacky hijinks where we get so close to putting a key inside the locket to see which one opens it, but something always happens. Like, I think the first thing that happens is the key that gets inserted breaks because it's just such an old trinket, so they have to wait weeks for the locket to come back until it gets fixed. Admittedly, one funny thing that Mari does is immediately goes for like the lock pick and stuff that she has in in her pocket and tries to open it up, but Raku's like, no, we gotta keep this show going. And for what it's worth, the story's funny. It's animated really well, and animated by Studio Shaft, my second favorite anime studio, because of the way that they do their designs, their background arts, and their patented head tilts. Head tilt. Well, I just ruined my hair, but let me explain the girls real quick. So, the contenders that we have for Raku are Chitoge. She is a violent tsundere. She will knock you into the stratosphere if you so much as look at her the wrong way. Like, the embodiment of a perfect tsundere. You gotta have patience for that sort of thing, and an indestructible body, of which I can confirm Raku has both. Onodera is vanilla. Just straight up, she's vanilla ice cream with the marshmallow floof with a little bit of gummy bears in there. She's the embodiment of sweetness that is like injecting glucose straight into my veins. So we got super sweet and super spicy. Alright, I guess Mari is, Mari's sweet in her own way, but she's also takes it to a weird degree. Not to the essence of yandere, but it's like the girls make chocolates for Raku, and Mari makes a giant statue of him out of chocolate, so she's quirky. I think quirky is the right word here. There are other characters in the show, like Raku's best friend, Maiko, who's the comic relief character who sounds annoying, but he is actually a good guy at heart. You got Tsumugi, Chitoge's best friend, who is the human equivalent of a walking armory. You got Rory, who's Onodera's best friend and constantly tells her, like, girl, you gotta confess to that guy right now. Do it, or I'm gonna make you do it. She is so much fun, and my friend and I call her Bayeko Girl because she reminds us a lot of Bayeko from ReZero, and we just... It's that type that never smiles. There's just something about it that's alluring. And while the anime did not have a dub, there was no point where we actually lost interest in it. We thought that the stories were pretty fun. Also, the reaction faces. Oh, the reaction faces. It's just the stuff that I live for. Not perfect by any means, but still entertaining. So that just begs the question, why do I want to split the main character in two? Well, it's a really hard love triangle. Usually my rule of thumb when it comes to love triangles is pick the girl that needs him the most. I know that sounds unhealthy and clingy, but for one, I think that's adorable. And two, I should probably phrase it better. It's more so pick the one that needs the most help out of the potential relationship. So if the other girl in this case would be totally fine without the guy, or if they can continue their life without them, then pick the one that will need the most help moving forward, who needs the most development. And in this case, I think that the girl that deserves to win the most is Chitoge. So Chitoge, as I mentioned before, is a token tsundere who is violent in nature. She will go off on Raku whenever they are having an argument with each other that eventually leads to her shooting a fist at Mach 20 that sends him flying into the stratosphere. I think that that's absolutely adorable, first off. I think that the ideal romance is one where you fight. Not like in a domestic abuse kind of way, but where you argue with each other and it's fun. There is a clear you hate him but you love him kind of relationship. But in this case, Raku slowly teaches her how to be less violent. When she is introduced to class, I should have mentioned earlier that Chitoge is a transfer student from America, thus the blonde hair and body type. She's not very good at making friends, and she doesn't know how to. The only thing that she knows is her father is weird, she is the daughter of a Yakuza boss, and she is, I guess, engaged, if you want to call it that. Actually, not engaged. She is forced to pretend to date this guy who wants nothing to do with her, and vice versa. But slowly but surely, as they start to understand, hey, we're one and the same, they get a little friendlier towards each other, and you find that Chitoge has a lot more of a... Saying that she has a human side to her doesn't feel correct, because she was always a person, she just doesn't know how to act around others. But Raku really breaks her out of her shell, as you should with most tsunderes. That's why you need to have the patience for it. You find out that there's a sweet side to her, like she's scared of the dark, so when they're locked together in a closet because of shenanigans, she jumps on his back and she's all scared and terrified and draped over him, and it's cute. I live for that sort of thing. So Raku not only does that, but to avoid spoilers, fixes up her family situation as well fixes up her relationship with her parents. They bounce off of each other really well. Their arguments towards each other are natural, rather than like the nice guy, hi, how are you, lovely weather we're having kind of shtick. It just feels like there's a stronger relationship there, and for that, I'm personally on Team Chitoge, but let me talk about Onodera for a sec as well, because that explains why it's so hard. I think that you should pick the girl that needs the most help, but in Onodera's case, she has freaking earned it. If she is the winner, and I will say if, I will not spoil anything, if she is the winner, she deserves it because she is the childhood friend that has done everything in her power to try to be around her crush. Because, spoiler warning, which, you know, you can kind of tell from episode 1, she likes him as well. So you just wonder, why have neither of you confessed? Aside the point, she, in a backstory in season 2, you see that she liked him since middle school, and has worked her hardest to try to get into the same high school as him, and is elated to find that the two of them made it. So she, not being very smart to begin with, she is very klutzy and clumsy as well, goes through this trial and succeeds. So if nothing else, she deserves the win just as much. And also, it's because she is so klutzy and clumsy and innocent that I just can't help but feel for her as well. Despite the fact that I am on Team Chitoge, baby, I am still, like, if Onodera wins, I'm not too upset with that either. It's because it's just, a vanilla character is hard to hate, and Onodera has done so well where, let's say blushing, right? When the characters blush. Chitoge will do it because she's embarrassed, but Onodera will do it because she sees cute, adorable thing, or she sees delicious thing because she is also a foodie, and we'll give a reaction face for that. Or, one of my favorite gags, when they're playing Old Maid, her face is so easy to read when Raku's trying to go for, like, the Old Maid. Her face lights up, he can tell easily right away. So he then goes for another card, and then her face just droops so adorably. And I want her to win as well. I want them both to win. I want them all to be happy. And the best way to do that, in my opinion, is to go the 100 girlfriends route. Just say that you'll love them both. Take care of them both. Go straight up Mormon. So, full disclosure, I love 100 Girlfriends now. It is amazing. I have caught up with the manga, and I think that Rentaro Aijo is unironically the best harem protag ever. Because of the way that he will go out of his way and outside of the realm of logic from manga and otherwise to not be a horn dog, or at least to make sure that his girlfriends are safe and happy. I'm going on a tangent. The point is, I believe that there is a way to make that work. And in this case, Raku is not a horn dog either. He is not somebody who is perverted. If something perverted actually does happen, it's either by accident or it's done in a tame way where, like, he's not going out of his way to flip up a skirt. That is actually something that his best friend would do. And he gets rightfully knocked for it. But Raku is genuinely a good guy. So if he were to go the route where he takes both girls, I know that's like wish fulfillment, that's the easiest cop-out ever, but this is such a difficult decision that I think it's warranted. I'm willing to give them a stamp of approval, just for this one, okay? I won't even give it for one of the other ones that I have a tough time with. Keep in mind, Nisekoi is probably the second toughest love triangle that I've ever seen. The first one belongs to My Teen Romantic Comedy Snafu. That's another video that I could do for later. But I definitely think that Raku should pick both of them. But I have read to the end of the manga, and I will say that there is one winner. I will not say who it is, but if you feel like Nisekoi is interesting to you, if I have somehow convinced you that it is a good idea to give the show a watch, which you totally should, then go watch it. Or at least give it the 3-episode try, because I think that it is well worth it. Even if you're not a Slice of Life fan, you can at least appreciate the way that it looks, because Studio Shaft does a great job with the visuals. And I know, romance and slice of life isn't for everybody, but honestly, if you are driving a wedge between my friend group because one of us fights for one girl and the other one fights for the other one, you are clearly doing something right. But whether or not you're on Team Onodera, or you are on the right side of history, or you just like to watch the world burn, I can admit that all the girls are cute. And you know what? That just about sums up Nisekoi. Thank you for listening to my rant about Nisekoi. My main goal was to try to release something before releasing another video that I'm working on. It's a passion project that at this point might last an entire hour, but it's a project that I've been doing some extensive research on that unfortunately is taking me a lot longer to make than I initially thought. So I figured that I'd do a quick rant on a show that I just finished because I am also invested in this show, so I figured why not do it and see if anybody else had the same thoughts. This video is also a way to test out my microphone again from this angle, and also just to see what I could do about showing you guys my poster wall. It is a real shame that the way that my room is formatted, it's just, my bed is literally at my knees. So, yeah, that's what we're doing with. That's how much space that I have to work with. So I'm trying to place the camera tripod in places that it will work, so that way when I release this thing, it's as perfect as I can get it. But also, just this poster wall in general has cost me maybe about $1,000 at this point, between the sword and the posters and the noodle stops that I'm just looking to collect now because they're just my reason to live. I'm living my best life and no one can tell me otherwise. As you've probably guessed, I'm the Chitoge fan and my friend is the Onodera fan, and we constantly butted each other's heads, so if you can show some love for either girl in the comments, specifically Chitoge, then I would love to just put him in his place, so if you could just do that for me, that would be amazing. What else? I guess if you guys have any other anime-related topics you want me to try to rant about, just to see what my opinion is on it, let me know in the comments below. I can imagine doing a video about that, and I think that'd be pretty fun. But anyway, that's all I got for you. Sayonara, suckers. One Miku for each shoulder.